Take a moment to remember your favourite food from your childhood. What springs to mind? Is it the colour, aroma, or the flavour? Or is it the people you shared it with that makes that memory and taste so precious? In this episode, Jenny Woodbury, a rising young chef from London, is challenged to recreate a special dish to reignite a heartfelt memory from decades ago. This is Tastes of the Past. Elizabeth Dickey was a care worker for 28 years before retiring. Today, she comes with her story about a very special dish she and her sister ate as children. Bacon roly-poly.
How are you?
Hi, Liz.
Come in, Jen.
So
Lovely
nice to see you.
Was your journey okay?
Yeah, it was good, thanks. How about you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Come through.
Bacon roly-poly. What is a bacon roly-poly?
A bacon roly-poly was a very cheap, filling food that we would have had. It's made with suet pastry, bacon pieces, and onion.
When did you last have a bacon roly-poly?
Probably 10 years ago, on Jackie's birthday, and Mum invited us all round. I remember Billy coming, and Billy said to me, "I cannot believe how much noise you make at the end of your meal, scraping your dishes to get the last of the bits of food off it." So yeah, that was probably 10 years ago.
And it's a dish that's particularly special to Jackie.
To Jackie, that was always her birthday dish. That she would choose it every year.
Are you and your family very close then?
My sister and I are incredibly close, and closer recently because she's been so poorly for a couple of years. She nearly died like 3 times.
Wow.
So this will just lift her up. You know, it's special for her. We're doing this for her. You know, let's celebrate, Jack. Let's celebrate life because you're still with us and you're going to carry on being with us now because you're over the worst.
To know Elizabeth's family better and uncover the lifestyle of the past, Jen decides to take a trip to the places where Elizabeth spent her childhood.
This is Amersham High Street, but it has changed quite a lot since the 60s.
What's changed? What?
Well, this used to be Dewhurst over here. This was the butchers that we'd come to get the bacon for the roly-poly.
Ah, OK.
So
it's not here anymore?
It's not here anymore. It probably closed in about 1978. And then if you look over to the little building that's black and white, that used to be a hole in the wall. And it used to be the fruit and veg. So Mum would come and get a bacon from here, a fruit and veg from down there. It's because we didn't have fridges, you see, so, you know, we just had a cold shelf.
That's so hard to imagine.
So everything had to be bought every couple of days because we had no way of keeping it fresh.
So this is where you grew up?
It is where I grew up. This is Weller Close. I came here when I was 4 with Mum and Dad and my sister. Jack was 8. Dad was a dustman, so we kind of got a tied accommodation here. Mum was a school cook.
Oh, nice.
We had lots of friends. There was one car in the close. We knew all the children. We all played in a big gang.
Did you have a lot of fun?
We had a lot of fun, really, seriously. It was a brilliant childhood. It was easy, it was free, we were allowed out. And we'd play under the light. And once the light come on, we knew we had to go home.
Oh, I
and
love
if we
that.
didn't, they'd be, "Elizabeth, time to come in." This is Ellen Gainey, and I came here, one of the first students, when I was 5 years old. Loved it.
Is this the same school where your mum worked as a cook?
She did. She was in our kitchen, in the canteen, cooked proper dinners. Liver and bacon, you know, treacle tart, all the old school stuff.
This is where you used to come with your mum foraging?
We did, Mum, Dad,
Oh.
my sister. And we get berries, like blackberries here.
Oh, wow. It's not a good season for these now, though, is
It's
it?
kind of over, really. You've just got the last little bits left, you know.
Would you come down here with Jackie now?
Sadly, Jackie can't do this kind of thing at the minute. She will be able to in a few more weeks. You know, we'll get her out and get her back down the woods.
Yeah.
She's just a little bit weaker than she should be and a little bit thinner, but she is getting better. And eventually we will do all these family things again, you know,
Yeah.
and bring the children, bring the grandchildren, and just carry on our family life as it's always been and as it always will be.
pretty. Oh, whose is bigger?
No, mine is.
Oh, you've done really, really well. This is going to be fantastic. Look at how many we've got. We've got a lot. We've got a lot.
No.
Yeah. That's good. Well, listen, let's pop all these in this basket. I've got some red currants, and let's go and see what else we can find, shall we? Come on, then.
Come on.
Come on, sausage. Let's go.
We used to go apple scrumping, but, you know, unless there's apple trees in the wood, you're not going to get them, are you?
No.
So we'd make everything we could from the land, you know.
What else would you forage around here?
We'd get mushrooms.
Oh,
We'd come
really?
in the mornings really early to get the mushrooms. Get
Only
working
the
about
edible
4.
ones,
Only
hopefully.
yeah, but we knew which were edible.
Oh.
Not everybody does, but
No,
we knew
that's
the edible
the thing.
mushrooms. And we'd come for hazelnuts, beech nuts, wild garlic.
Do you miss doing this sort of walk with your mum?
So I do miss doing the walk with Mum and just chatting about life and just natural and real.
Bacon roly-poly might sound unfamiliar, but in Buckinghamshire, it's actually quite common. In World War II and just after, things like bacon were quite scarce because of rationing, so people had to come up with creative ways to stretch that bacon a little bit further. From my research, I can see that adding things like chopped up onions, maybe some potatoes, would help bulk out that bacon in the roly-poly.
So Jen's challenge is to recreate this dish so special to Liz and her sister Jackie to transport them back in time. First, to source the right ingredients, Jen calls for some expertise from a master butcher of Dewhurst.
I'm Liz Berry. I'm 65 years old and I worked for Dewhurst from the early 70s to the early 90s.
What was your role at Dewhurst?
I started off in the early 70s as a shop assistant and then worked my way up to shop manager, where I managed several shops in the London area.
I'm trying to find bacon that's going to be most similar to what you would have sold at Dewhurst. So where do I start?
Well, when I first started off at Dewhurst, most of our bacon come from Denmark, because it was Danish bacon.
So don't tell me I've got to go on a plane to find this bacon. What would be most similar now, do you think?
Most similar now? I don't think you'd get anything that was similar to that. I think you'd have to, if you wanted to taste back, go back and get the taste of the bacon as it was, I think you'd have to go to sort of like a specialist bacon supplier.
OK, so maybe like a local farmer,
Local farm,
a good
yeah,
place to
yeah,
start?
definitely.
On that note, Jen sets off immediately to a farm which has served the local community for nearly a century. Everything in their farm shop is grown and harvested from the same land as decades ago.
So is this a family-run farm then, I guess?
Yes, my grandfather started here back in the 30s, and then my father came and joined him just after the war, and then I followed on from my father.
How old are the pigs that
Well,
you have here?
they vary in age from about 8 weeks old when they come off their mother to just over 6 to 7 months old, which is when they're ready to go to the slaughterhouse.
Oh, OK.
I'm just about to feed them, actually. It's one of my next jobs, so if you want, I'll get some food and we'll feed
I
them.
love that. What are you feeding them?
I feed a prepared food for them.
So it's not pig swill?
No, it's in the old days we used to better feed them the waste food, which we used to call pig swill, but nowadays we're not allowed to do it anymore, so I get a prepared food in, which is a balanced feed.
They sound very hungry.
Oh, they love it normally. There they are, and off they go.
Recreating a dish is no easy task, and Jen has to try every possible combination of ingredients and potential cooking methods. After getting everything she needs, it's time for Jen to work her culinary magic.
Bacon is clearly the most important part of this dish, so we've got 3 different types of bacon here, and hopefully I can find the one that Liz likes the best. So to start with, we are going to go for an unsmoked bacon from a chain supermarket. Just get some oil in the pan and get that nice and hot. Meanwhile, I'm gonna chop an onion. I'm gonna get those onions in the pan. Gonna let those cook, and I'm gonna chop up this bacon. So I'm just gonna add that bacon into the pan. Lovely sizzle. Right, that's looking good now, so I'm gonna just add a little bit of potato. I just wanna try and get a bit of moisture out before we pop it in the suet. This one with the unsmoked bacon and potatoes, that's gonna be test number 1. Test number 2 is gonna be smoked bacon. This one is also from a chain supermarket. Perfect. So let's go in with that bacon. Now for the rosemary, I'm going to chop this up quite small because it is overpowering. Rosemary is really aromatic. It's a nice woody herb, and it would grow, you know, in most British gardens, it grows quite easily. It's very robust. So I feel like this is likely to be something that Liz's mum might have used. And I'm just going to add that in now. So that is test number 2. For the final test, we have got some farm shop bacon, and I feel like this might be the most authentic version to what Liz's mum used to use. So I'm gonna chop this one up exactly the same though with everything else. The onions will be the same, but I am gonna try a different herb. Thyme is also quite commonly grown in British gardens, so I think this also stands a good chance. This one feels a lot thicker. It's a much thicker cut of bacon, and it's almost more of a streaky style bacon. There's a lot more fat running through it. Just gonna leave that for a minute and get that thyme in. You always wanna pick thyme because you don't really wanna eat these pieces. So I'm just gonna pick off some of those lovely leaves and just add them in right at the end. So I'm just gonna pop those in now. Test 3, complete. The bacon's all ready to go. Now it's time for the very important suet crust for this roly-poly. So I'm gonna use some self-raising flour, add the suet. This is a really important ingredient. And I'm just gonna combine all that together before I add the water and bring it into a nice dough. Time to add the water. This suet dough would be used really common, especially in older times. I know now it's sort of dying out a little bit, but it was very common because it's a very affordable ingredient, and it also really filled you up. Nice dry hands, lots of flour. Just make sure there's room to fold it over, and just keep it nice and dry underneath. Roll it nice and fast. Keep it moving. The minute you pause, it sticks. It's quite difficult to work with. But there you go. Grab a muslin cloth. This is exactly like they would have used to use. So I'm just gonna flour this a little bit as well, just to make sure it doesn't stick. Just a light dusting. And then let's get number 1 on there. Again, a bit of flour on my hands every time I touch these now, because they are delicate. You can see they're already sticking a little bit on the surface, so we need to work fast. And I'm just gonna pop him in there, like a little baby. Bit more flour just to be safe. Fold him over. Fold in the sides, really important. And then we're just gonna literally roll 1, roll 2. So now I'm gonna pop them in the steamer, and then we're gonna come back in 2 hours and 45 minutes. Number 1, we had the unsmoked bacon and some extra potatoes to bulk it out. Number 2 was the smoked bacon, and that one had a little bit of rosemary. And number 3 was the farm shop bacon with some fresh thyme. I cannot wait to see how these all come out.
All 3 roly-polies are ready. Have these experiments brought Jen closer to Mum's cooking at all? It's time to face the judgment.
This looks like bread. That's nothing like a bacon roly-poly.
So the texture is not right on this one?
No. That'd be nice in a deli somewhere, but not a 1950 or 68 dinner, you know.
Yep.
No, this is the best one.
Yep.
This is traditional because it's a bit stodgy. It's a bit bland looking.
Yep.
It tastes lovely. It tastes traditional. This is the nicest one for today.
Okay.
But to recreate what my mum would have made, it would be this one.
With Liz's guidance, Jen is only a few steps away from finalising the recipe.
After speaking with Liz, I'm feeling really confident that I can absolutely get this spot on for her and for Jackie. We've figured out now that the look of this dish is really, really important, so we're gonna get it as traditional looking as possible, but with a few little tweaks on that bacon. What's more important is really capturing that nostalgia and the sense of family.
She also needs to prepare several side dishes to make the meal complete. Can Jen deliver a birthday feast just as Jackie remembers it?
Good. It smells lovely. It does smell lovely. Jack, how are you, darling?
Fine, thank you.
Oh, it's not the door. No, you look at me. I'm just going to do this with your eyes for a minute because a little surprise is coming in for you. All right, so it's just me.
Your hands are freezing.
Ready? Open your eyes.
Hey!
And you've got a little hat for your birthday, okay?
Thank you.
It was a labour of love, multiple tests, but I hope we've got there for you, and thank you. I want to say thanks for letting me in and sharing your story, because I've really enjoyed it. I hope we get it right, and I hope this meal can take you back a little bit to a time when Mum and Dad were still around. And happy birthday, Jackie.
Yeah, happy birthday, Auntie Jackie.
Birthday, Auntie
Jack.
I've actually got a few words from Mum. My dearest Jackie, wishing you happy birthday memories. Thank you for carrying on the legacy and championing my values, morals, and cherishing our happy times together. We had a simple way of life, full of fun and laughter and love. Life is a journey. There'll be ups and downs, but I am so incredibly proud of you all for sticking together and being supportive to each other when Dad and I are not around. Today is definitely food for thought. As always, love from Mum. I got me as well. Right, where are we going to start? Who wants the first slice?
Auntie Jackie definitely has got out the first slice.
I think so too. Well, it's all sliced nicely, so you just help yourself. There's a little
Can you do it all right?
for you.
Paul can help with the peas and that, can't you, Paul, over your end?
Oh, she's smart. Look, goes right for the middle.
Right, let's
The best bit.
pass it round. Jen, you go.
Oh yeah. Right, I'll start on the
so
spuds.
Let me just...
That's lovely. That's plenty, thank you.
Right, birthday hat for you, Missy.
It's not your birthday.
Thanks, Dad.
Jackie.
Happy birthday,
You
my
can
love.
wait, Missy. With breakfast sodium.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Now we can have some potato.
Birthday carrots.
Not too many now. I think you should.
Have some vegetables.
Didn't they?
And cards.
And they used to play cards.
And who had the dog called Muffin?
Jackie, if you do want to try it, the recipe in there, that took multiple tests, and Liz tried all the different ones to get it as close as possible. So if you give it a go, it should come out just like this.
But it does just taste like
Yeah.
your birthday dinners always
Absolutely, yeah.
tasted.
We used to have it a lot, just at normal meals.
How was it compared to your mum's? Was it, you know, very similar? Could it have been better? You know, you can be honest.
No, it was really, really nice, and it did taste like Mum's. Although my teenage years weren't my best, you know, I'd still got people that are precious to me that I haven't got now because they've passed. That, with all those lovely people, put together is probably one of my best ones.
That's what families do, isn't it?
That's what
we all love
families
each
do.
other.
And then we've brought that through our children, haven't we?
Yeah.
Going to the beach in the summer holidays.
And then we've done that with our children.
Yeah, going to fly the kite and all those things that we did.
pass it
We've
down.
brought that down to you and mine.
Yeah.
And now Neve and Harry are doing it.
People say you are what you eat. In fact, what defines us is not only the food, but the dedication, the memories, and the love we shared. Therefore, every taste of the past stands as a monument of an extraordinary life journey.